Welcome back to the Crystal Lake Soldiers podcast. My name's Isaiah, joined tonight by Mark and Ted. How are you guys doing this weekend?
Doing pretty good, man.
Pretty good.
Well, we've been off on a little 2-week break. It's been kind of refreshing to kind of take a break and not worry about making an episode and just kind of relaxing a little bit. But what have you guys been up to the last 2 weeks?
Not a whole lot. This is pretty much a little bit of the same. Just watching a little bit of movies. Last weekend we didn't record and we just hung out and watched Maniac Cop with Sean. Playing a lot of Nintendo, working a lot. This is a little same old shit.
For sure. That was a lot of fun watching Maniac Cop last week. It's been... We do so few like movie nights now. It's nice when it does happen because it's just nice to kick back and just relax and watch a movie and just shoot the shit.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all Sean's fault.
We'll blame it on the guy that's not here.
Yeah. He's not here to defend himself, so I'm just going to blame it on him.
There you go. I'm okay with that.
How dare he?
Right.
When he gets back, I'm just going to say, my question is, who do you think you are?
That's so good.
Of course, I don't believe Sean. It's just life gets in the way. You know how it is.
Yeah. Understandable.
This past couple of weeks, I've been just pretty much introducing my nephew to a bunch of horror franchises. Last week, I mean, we finished the Friday the 13th series, minus the remake. Like I said, it's just too much nudity for me to make him. Well, not make him, but have him watch. I just I'll have to wait till he's older for that. Last week watched Leprechaun 1 and 2 with my niece and nephew. It was the first time they were watching that franchise, so that was interesting. They loved Leprechaun 1 more because they just thought it was funny. But my nephew and I watched Child's Play 1 through 3 and Bride of Chucky. Like Thursday, was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday, because he wanted to watch, start watching those. And actually today he got to watch Seed of Chucky, so he's seen most of the franchise now. There's
nice.
Curse and Cold.
What's his thought on Seed of Chucky?
He didn't say anything, but he laughed a lot, so I'm thinking he really liked it. Until he tells me otherwise. He said the second one was his favorite, which is my favorite too. So
yeah, hell yeah. You can't beat that climax in the factory, the toy factory.
Yeah. So his ranking for that, as far as I know, I don't know where his seed places for him now, but 2 is his favorite, then Bride of Chucky, then Part 1, then Part 3 was his least favorite. Then I asked, and it seems that a lot of people don't like Part 3, which I love Part 3. It's in my top 3, but I asked him, I was just like, hey, so why didn't you like, or what about it did you not like? And he just said, it was just meh for me. So I was like, okay, fair enough, understand. So that, and I've been going through the Amityville franchise since I have the Vinegar Syndrome box set, and so I've been going through the entire franchise this week. It wasn't too long ago I watched Part 1, so I didn't need to do that, and I don't feel like ever watching Part 2 again with the incest thing, so that's just I can't do it.
That's why I stayed away from Game of Thrones, man. That shit is just such a trigger for me. I can't
watch Game of Thrones either.
Can't get into it.
I couldn't get into that show either. I got halfway through the first season. I was like, this is definitely not for me. I couldn't do it. I tried. I pushed through after the guy banging his sister from behind. I was like, what the heck? But I was just like, yeah, I can't do this. So, and then it'd been years since I watched Part 3, so much that I didn't remember anything. So I just started with Part 3. It then went through the rest of the franchise, except I haven't watched the remake yet. That's the only one I haven't watched now. I need to watch that tomorrow, and then I'll be done. But yeah, the Vinegar Syndrome box set's really good with the 4 movies they released. I really liked Amityville Dollhouse and Amityville 1992. It's About Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the title. I don't know. I liked those 2 movies the most out of the box set.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm excited to get that finally on Monday.
Yeah. And then Amityville: The Awakening was that was the one that stars Jennifer Jason Leigh and that Bella Thorne, who her name sounds so familiar, but I've never seen her in anything except this. And the movie was so boring. And it also stars the guy who played the Joker in the Gotham show, the Cameron, what's his name,
Monaghan or something like that.
Yeah, But it was so funny because after each movie, I would go to IMDb just to read some trivia on IMDb. And for Amityville: The Awakening, it said in the U.S. version, Harvey Weinstein's name was removed from the movie because of the scandal. And I laughed and I said, y'all did him a favor not having his name on this movie.
That's funny.
Kept it on there because the movie sucks. I just couldn't get into that movie. That's why I was trying to watch the rest of them yesterday, but after The Awakening, I was like, nah, I got to play Metal Gear or something because I can't do another movie right now. That killed my momentum.
That's so good.
But yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been doing. Just watching some movies and playing a game.
All right.
Nothing else really to do.
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah, my last 2 weeks, obviously last weekend watching Maniac Cop and whatnot. Been watching some King of the Hill. Other than that, I haven't really watched a whole lot for movies. Played some video games, but been just trying to clean and get things ready around here for trying to sell this house. So I've been keeping busy. That's for sure. So nothing really exciting going on here. But yeah, when this is over, this will be nice. That's for sure. Well, I guess I did watch Toxic Avenger, to get ready for tonight. So I did watch that last night. So it was kind of like last night was a good night to just chill out, let my mind get sucked into the TV, and just enjoyed that movie. I love Toxic Avenger, and it's definitely been one of my favorites for a long time. So it was nice to kind of get away with that. But yeah, otherwise I've been very, 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 very busy. So not a whole lot going on here otherwise.
I heart the monster.
Right? No kidding.
I want a t-shirt that says I heart the monster.
I'm sure you can find one on Etsy or something.
Troma sells them, but since they're all shut down because of COVID, there's no telling when you're going to get your stuff, so I'm not even going to bother.
Right. Yeah, kind of like that fucking Toxic Avenger box that I've been wanting to get that, but can't find it anywhere. And then Troma.
That's crazy. I never thought that would go out of print or out of stock, whatever's going on so quickly.
Yeah.
That's something that you would think would be available for a long time.
Oh, you would think. But, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I can't really complain too much because, I mean, I was able to watch it online, at least for now. So it's not a complete loss. I just really want the box set now, especially to have all of them, all on disc, because it's been a long time since I've had those on disc, because those are ones that I ended up losing from stupid shit. We'll just leave it at that. And I just never rebought them, when I had them on DVD and stuff. So, but I definitely want to get those, especially on Blu-ray. All that HD glory, be nice.
You might want to hold your expectations in check there. Believe me, I know.
I'm not. I'm not.
I have. While it's a lot better than obviously than DVD and VHS. Don't expect it to look as pristine as you're trying to make it out to be.
I'm not trying to make it out to be anything it isn't. I just said in all its HD glory. Didn't say it was going to look crisp and clean, just in HD.
I mean, this is like one of the movies, at least for me. I mean, it feels like watching it in low fidelity would almost be more enjoyable just from the nostalgia of watching it on VHS.
Yeah.
And like older DVD prints and whatever, or watch it on wherever you watched it before. That's the way I feel with some of the older Friday movies. If I watch it in lower fidelity, I'd feel like a kid again.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's not the shit on the high fidelity, because I'm a Blu-ray. I wouldn't say, I'd say lover. I guess I'm not like a hyper collector, but
Right.
it's also nice to see the older movies. Like I would say probably one of my favorite ones I saw from switched over to high fidelity on Blu-ray was probably Spaceballs. I was just completely blown away with how good that movie looked.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of my first DVDs I ended up getting. Because Halloween was the first. Then I got Phantasm 4. And then Spaceballs was my third DVD I ever bought. And yeah, it's like it was such a night and day difference, obviously, going from VHS to that.
You went over my helmet?
God.
I see your.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Oh, it's all cross-eyed. It's great. Made that man a gunner. That movie is so quotable.
Oh my God. It's been
Evil will always triumph because good is dumb.
Oh God. I need to watch it.
Even the future, nothing works.
Oh man. Oh, it's such a
I think
classic.
that's my favorite Rick Moranis role ever.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
I think one of my favorites was it was after I watched like special features and whatever on the discs, was the diner scene when Barf was sticking his tail up that lady's dress, and he's like, "I'm sorry, it's got a mind of its own," and to realize that was like a joke because John Candy had such a hard time controlling his costume, and it was always such a mess, so they made it a joke on screen. I love little tidbits like that. So now that's one of my favorite scenes, knowing that much.
Yeah.
He had the special. That's what I ordered.
Change my order to the soup.
John Hurt, not again. Hello, my baby. Hello.
Oh, it's such a classic. Mel Brooks is a fucking genius.
Oh, for sure.
Spaceballs. There goes the planet. Hey, watch my helmet.
Oh, that's so good.
What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken.
Oh man, it's been so long since I've watched that movie. I gotta watch it again sometime soon once things start settling down a little bit. But I gotta pack up all my movies here soon. I gotta keep
always the digital copies.
Well, that one I don't have on digital. That one I only have on. I guess I didn't think about streaming services. I haven't checked that in a while.
Baseball's on Netflix.
Is it?
It was last week when I saw it. I don't know if it's still on there, but
okay,
it probably is.
Yeah, I'll have to check because that would be great to be able to watch that here this week, maybe after I'm done painting this house. So it'll be a great way to end the week this week, that's for sure. But well, this whole month we're actually going to be talking and reviewing Troma movies, like we announced on our last episode. And so we're going to kick it off with probably the most famous Troma movie, which we kind of alluded to earlier in the episode, the Toxic Avenger. Are you guys ready to review this?
I'm so ready.
Yes.
I am as well. Let's take a look at 1986's The Toxic Avenger.
Meet little Melvin. He's a 90-pound weakling. Everyone hated Melvin.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this mop and shove it down your throat.
They teased him.
I want to do it with you. Okay.
They taunted him. They tormented him until he had a horrifying accident and fell into a vat of nuclear waste, transforming little Melvin into a hideously deformed creature of superhuman size and strength. Melvin became the Toxic Avenger, the first superhero born out of nuclear waste.
Holy shit!
I don't know what it was, but it saved my life.
All right, everybody, drop your tacos or I'll blow your brains out.
The vandals and the perverts had their way with the little people of Tromaville until the Toxic Avenger ripped them apart. The Toxic Avenger. His face is so terrifying. We can't show it to you now. You'll have to see the movie for yourself. The Toxic Avenger can bend steel with his bare hands.
Oh, we're all a kid. Get it?
Leap small cars in a single bound. He crushes drug pushers. Smashes hit-and-run drivers. For incredible explosive action, you must see the Toxic Avenger. He's a different kind of hero. The Toxic Avenger is coming to your town. Look out.
All right, so The Toxic Avenger was released on April 11th, 1986. It was directed by Michael Hers and Lloyd Kaufman. He used the name Samuel Wheel for this movie, though. Starred Mark Torgel, Pat Ryan, Gary Schneider, Robert Pritchard, Cindy Mannion, Jennifer Baptist, Andrew Martin, Mitch Cohen as the Toxic Avenger. Now, this movie had a budget of $475,000, and they really went the extra mile with that money because they really did some pretty spectacular effects, throughout the whole movie on that small of a budget. Just a couple pieces of trivia. In the scene where Melvin is kissing the sheep, that sheep was actually infested with lice, and they didn't know until afterwards. So that was kind of disgusting. The crushing of the child's head in the movie was accomplished by injecting a melon with corn syrup and red food dye. Wig was placed on it, and even though it was cheap, it was kind of unsettling seeing it. Obviously, because number one, it's a kid being killed on camera and then having his head run over. And then finally, the last piece of trivia is, and I knew this one already, but Marissa Tomei was actually an extra in the movie, and she was shown coming out of the shower. But like I said earlier, I fucking love this movie. It's cheap. It's gory. It's funny. I mean, it's very, very like lowbrow, low budget, but so good. It's so good. I fucking love this movie.
It was like a perfect disaster because I feel like if one or two things was handled differently, this movie could have been very terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned out to be perfect. And what I mean is like the death of the children and the rapey vibes and the shoving the shotgun into a baby's face and things like that. If certain elements weren't handled the way they were, it could have, for me, been a very offensive and unsettling movie. But it turned out to be pure gold.
Agreed 100%. Yeah, there isn't much that gets me to squirm with movies, but seeing children or animals being hurt is like kind of my limit. And they did both in this movie. The
thing has always gotten me in movies, but if it's like an off-screen thing, or if it's not like overly gory or things like that, I can usually just put it to the side. But this one in this movie, it's pretty upsetting to me, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't over the top.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You
Because
still see the dog breathing in this movie, which is great.
Yeah.
right.
The dog's supposed to be dead, but he's just laying there breathing. They put like the stuff on it, and he's still breathing.
Right.
This was my first Troma movie. I remember renting it on VHS back in the day, some point in the early to mid 90s. And the reason I rented it is because when I was a little kid, I remember watching Toxic Crusaders, the cartoon on TV. So of course, seeing Toxic Avenger, I was like, "Hey, that's the the cartoon that I used to watch." But I'm like, it's rated R. I wonder why it's rated R. But I rented it anyway. Boy, did I find out why it's rated R.
No kidding.
As a kid, as a young kid, the death of the kid really made me go, "What the heck?"
Yeah,
like,
that was
as
pretty
a
graphic.
kid, that messes you up because you're so used to the kids not getting killed in movies because it was, I guess you could say, it was sort of taboo or
Yeah.
Yeah.
so to see Lloyd Kaufman just see like, oh, forget it, I'm killing kids. But it's great. It's one of my favorite Troma movies and one of my favorite Lloyd Kaufman movies, which I have no idea why he went with the pseudonym Samuel Well
Yeah.
for some of the earlier movies. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. Was he part of a union or something? I wouldn't think he would have been, but you never know.
You never really know. But then again, Lloyd Kaufman's always been kind of a weird guy, and he's always been great. So, I mean, I'm sure he had his own reasons for doing that, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because, I mean, this is like his best creation, arguably, and oh my God, I don't know why he wouldn't have wanted his name on it. It's just pure independent gold.
I like how the genesis for this movie started out when Kaufman read an article about horror movies not mattering anymore or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when he's just like, we're gonna make a horror movie and it's gonna be set at a health gym or whatever, it's aerobic studio or something. That's where the genesis came out to be the Toxic Avengers. It's just weird, like you said.
Yeah.
But I like weird. I like Lloyd Kaufman, so.
And you get it in Aces here. I mean, even right down to Melvin as the character. I mean, he's this whiny, obnoxious kid in the beginning, but as soon as he gets in that toxic waste, all of a sudden, obviously he becomes the big brooding monster, but he's totally intellectual now and just can talk perfectly. And it's so weird, but it's so good, and it just makes.
Sorry, Julie.
I'm sorry, Julie.
How dare you talk to me? I love the bullies in this movie because they're hilarious. He's stressing me, Julie. He's stressing me.
It's so good.
Bozo.
Yes,
you
Bozo's
stress
great.
Bozo.
Oh man. The fire walk in this, when Melvin, gets out of the toxic waste and starts running down the street, that was probably one of the coolest scenes in here. Just that slow-mo of him running on fire. I always loved that. That's probably one of my favorite fire scenes with somebody being on fire and whatnot. It looks so cool, and it's so iconic with him just running down the street. And that fucking
He's faking
tutu.
it, Julie. He just can't take a joke.
The cop touches him. His hands start on fire. It's so good. Oh, and then him sitting in the tub and his skin and everything's just bubbling and boiling. Oh, it's so good.
I think one of my favorite elements of the movie is the overly animated characters that are throughout the whole town of Tromaville.
Yep.
You got the ruffian gangster guy that's cross-dressing and trying to do his ninja kicks.
Cigar face you got too. He's kind of the ringleader of them all.
We can make love to him.
And then you got the guys in the taco restaurant, which is so appropriately named the Mexican place.
Nothing but white people work there.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like the kid in the back that just keeps passing out over and over.
Oh man.
It's this town, just the whole like universe as itself, because Tromaville's in a bunch of their movies.
Yep.
Is what I thought of so heavily when I saw the city in Hobo with a Shotgun. That's why I thought so hard that this has to be a Troma movie.
Right. I could see that.
It's just so wacky and over the top and fun. It's just so fun. You got the coke snorting truck drivers that are driving around with their barrels of toxic waste that aren't strapped down with no lids on them.
Right.
It's like this. Nothing bad's going to happen.
No, not at all. God, then you got the mayor, the fat slob, always getting massages with this 3-foot sub sitting next to him.
Yeah, just eating the sub, getting a massage.
Played by the same guy who was the head of the nuclear power plant in Class of Nukem High.
Yep.
The original Class of Nukem High.
So good.
I like his death. He gets his guts ripped out, and then he's trying to put him back in as he's dying.
Yeah, that was great.
That was
it was like
pretty
he's
good.
like trying to put him back in, and everybody cheered. Like, "Hey, you just murdered somebody in front of us."
In front of children too. There's children there. Let's see if you have some guts.
Hey, fatty.
That's why they call me Cigar Face.
It's so good. I mean, you got the action sequences. They're so cheesy too, but they're so just like classic 80s, like low budget cheese. It's everything is like classic 80s low budget cheese, and it's just
You have
so
that
perfect.
limo, that limo where all the bad guys keep coming.
Yeah,
out.
like 40
Yes.
dudes come out of it.
I mean, Toxie. That's great.
He rips the black dude's arm off in the taco shop, and then he's just standing there with no arm. He's like, "I'm gonna kick your ass," and then he notices he's got no arm.
Oh,
That guy was something. He's just like, I never had me a blind chick before.
I always wanted to cornhole me a blind chick.
Oh my goodness.
it's so bad. It's so wrong.
I really enjoyed I don't remember the name, but the painted face character. I thought he was, the way he portrayed his character was perfect, and it was
That's Patrick Kilpatrick.
gave me a Batman villain vibe the way he was doing it.
You talking about the
From
one
my
with the shotgun in the
from my
Mexican restaurant?
Yeah,
Okay.
From my understanding, Patrick Kilpatrick is the guy you're talking about. He quit the movie after Lloyd Kaufman made him point the shotgun in front of that woman and her baby. He's like, I didn't like that. He quit or something like that.
yeah,
I
that
don't know
was
if that's true or
pretty
not.
unsettling. I don't know. That would be unsettling, but
Yeah.
Put your tacos down, blow your freaking heads off.
I don't think it's the act that he was doing it. If I was him, because it's fake and it's all just a movie. I think it'd be more of your face is on that and people see you doing that, and that's probably what would make me not want to do it.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm trying to make my name as an actor, and then don't want to always be remembered as the guy that shot a baby or
But he didn't shoot the baby. He just
Right. But that's the way that these type of reputations blow out of proportion in the real
That's true.
world.
Agreed.
Sure, people are.
Because people don't know how to calm down.
No, it's just a fucking movie. The kid didn't get ran over. Was it a very gruesome scene? Did it turn my stomach? Of course it did. But I also highly appreciated the practical effects because it looked awesome.
Right.
It's an effective scene because it makes you feel that way.
Yes, exactly.
It did its job, ultimately.
The bullies, they're like, hey, you got to take me home. I got to go to church in the morning after they just ran over and killed a kid.
Right.
And they're like, oh, yeah.
Like sings in the choir or something like that. Gee.
So good. Good Lord. Oh, man. But, oh, God, there's just so much. The music in here, too. The music choice in here. From the opening music with that kind of 80s workout music that they have going on. Just see everybody kind of shaking their shit.
Your body now.
Yes.
Oh, and the montages in this movie are fucking awesome.
Yes, they are.
And then you got the Toxic Avenger. He's Melvin, which I love that his voice just immediately turned into like this super heroic, like deep voiced character. Just instantly, like, that's how you know this guy is like the hero or whatever.
Yep.
And then he's running around the whole movie. He still has his fucking tutu on, and I love it.
You guys have forgotten the best character. The lady who runs the laundromat, but also in charge of white slavery.
Yes, the little midget lady. Yes.
Toxie throws her in the big industrial dryer to kill her. It's great. Has the monster gone too far? And they're like, she's not squeaky clean as we thought, boss. Turns out she was in charge of white slavery.
Oh, man. Yeah, I completely forgot about that character because it's such a small scene, but it's so memorable.
I'm sorry. She wasn't in charge of the laundromat. She was just there delivering laundry. It's like,
yep.
My son just keeps making messes on his pants. It's just white stain. He keeps going out with his girlfriend, but then when he comes out his jeans. Oh my gosh.
So gross.
So crass. So Lloyd Kaufman.
It really is. It just wouldn't be the same if it wasn't that way.
You know what? This is what I would call tame Lloyd Kaufman, though.
Yeah?
Because he would get crazier as the years go on.
Right. That's true. That is very true.
I mean, I think like Terra Firma would be like the pinnacle of just being nuts. Maybe I would say Terra Firma and Toxic Avenger 4 would be the pinnacle.
I think those are pretty close. And we'll definitely be talking about Terra Firma later on this month. So
that is his peak.
But any final thoughts regarding this movie that you guys have?
Well, have you guys seen the Japanese cut of the movie?
I have not, but I did see that was like 91 minutes versus like the 70 some odd minutes for the American cut.
I have it on DVD, and they've got extra scenes in there, like the girl bullies. Toxie doesn't kill them; he just hurt them. Or I say hurt them. The one girl, he shaved her head bald or something like that. The other girl, he sat her on the hot coals.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like in the police station. She can't like sit down because her butt's burned.
Oh, God.
That was probably one of the most satisfying kills to me because that chick was sitting in the damn sauna masturbating to the pictures of that dead kid. And I just wanted her to die so bad. Yeah. And it was just so fitting that he just burned her cooch off.
Agreed.
Yeah, I prefer to think that they died because of what they were doing, not getting off scot-free. Because it doesn't. From the sequels, Toxie doesn't let people go like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's in the Japanese cut.
Okay. Yeah, I've often wondered what was in the Japanese cut. You know, based off
that's
of
one of them. Just some extended stuff like that, a few minutes here and there.
Okay. Sweet. Well, let's go ahead and rate this. What would you guys rate this movie?
Yeah, so I love it to death, but I just think about some of the other things I rated, so I just can't feel right giving it a full 5 stars, so I'm going to have to give it a 4.5, because some things I rated a little harsher, and I try to be fair, but it is, for what it is, it's definitely one of my favorites. It was my first Troma movie. I'd say it's probably my favorite, if not one of my favorite, like funny, lighthearted type movies like this. So I definitely, 4.5 for me.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's always hard for me to rate movies, period, because I mean, what makes a movie a 3 for me, or what makes a movie a 4? When usually I go, unless it's something like really bad that I have to tear it apart on every level, whether it's acting, scripting, directing, cinematography, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I just usually go by entertainment value. Mm-hmm. I mean, because this movie, I have nostalgia for it. I mean, it's my first Troma movie.
Yep.
Period. First Lloyd Kaufman movie. And I rented it on VHS back in the day, like so many of us did back in the day, was just renting movies.
Yep.
So I have a huge nostalgic factor for it. It's just a fun movie. I mean, it's not trying to be high art. Troma never was high art.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, that was never their thing. I mean, the whole let's go make some art. They're making art, but they're definitely not making high art. So, I mean, it's hard to rate things for me because, you can look at some movies and be like, yeah, they're trying to actually, do this and that. This movie just wants to entertain. Of course, Lloyd Kaufman is really subtle on some things and how, I'm sure you could say that the message was against people obsessed with their bodies or something like that, and the ugly duckling type. I mean, it could be anything. So I'm just going to rate this on a pure entertainment, enjoyable level. And for me, that's going to be a 5 out of 5 because it's in my top 5 Lloyd Kaufman movies / Troma movies, period.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 out of 5 for me. Solid.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, for me, this also was my first Troma movie. Obviously, Toxic Crusaders was the first thing that introduced me to the character. And then, obviously, I found out about this movie and watched it. And, I've loved it. With that being said, though, it isn't my favorite Toxic Avenger movie, which I know might be controversial because obviously it's the original. It's great. I love it. But I've always loved Toxic Avenger 4 more. And I don't know, it's just so over the top that I just love it. And so that's why I like it more than the first one. But with that being said, with the first one, it's classic. It's a favorite of mine. I would give it a 4 out of 5 for a rating for me. And obviously, it's all based on entertainment value. And most of the ratings I do is usually based off of how much I enjoy it. So it's
still pretty solid.
Yeah, it really is. It's a solid movie. It's solid schlock. It's lowbrow, low budget, 80s independent. It's great. So definitely 4 out of 5 for me. And I fucking love this movie. But with that being said, next week we will be taking a look at Sgt Kabukiman N.Y.P.D. So come back for that. I'm looking forward to revisiting that again. It's been about a year since I've watched it, so I look forward to always watching that movie. I fucking love that movie. That's another Troma favorite of mine, and I'm excited for that.
That's in my top 5 also.
Yeah.
I love Sgt Kabukiman.
It's great. I fucking love it. But with that being said, we do appreciate you guys checking out this week's episode. As always, you can reach out to us through our social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at CLS Podcast. We would love to hear from you guys, and we do want to thank you for checking out this week's episode. And Ted, do you have any final words of wisdom for us as we leave tonight?
Sean did it. That's well,
strap down your barrels of toxic waste before you do your cocaine.
That's a good point.
Where's the fun in that, Mike? Where's the fun in that? That's horrible advice. Jeez. I'm just gonna say Sean did it, no matter what it was.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week.
Thanks for joining us today for the CLS Podcast. Check us out at www.clspodcast.com or join in the conversation on social media with the hashtag CLS Podcast. Until next time, stay safe, campers.